Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. This is part 2 to our Impact 1000 review, which would make this 1001 or
maybe this is 1,000 and that was 999.
I don't know. But whatever.
1,000 and a half.
1000 and a half. And this is 1000.5. So with this, it was the second night. All the matches that were advertised, the rest of the matches that were advertised were on this card. This time, it started almost immediately right away. No promo, no nothing. They just went right to the action in this one. They started off with an Ultimate X match, which was Zach Wentz, Samurai Del Sol, Rich Swann, Ace Austin, Mike Bailey, and Alan Angels. Basically, the guys that couldn't get into the Feast or Fired match, they were in this one.
That's what it seemed like.
Because Mike Bailey was not in the Feast or Fired.
Mike Bailey didn't do much in this match.
He didn't do much, and he didn't do much in this episode, like this special episodes.
Yeah, he kind of was just there. I don't know. Yeah. He's awkwardly, and now like we'll get to it later more, like, but with all the pushes and like the moves that are happening, he's not part of anything.
No,
he doesn't even have a feud.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't at all. Like he's lost in the shuffle here, because we'll get to the results later. Because that's later on in the night. But yeah, he's kind of lost in the shuffle. Even what's his name? Like, you had Wentz in this match, who's the partner of he's tag champ, right? He's a partner of Miguel there, Trey Miguel. You had Ace Austin, who's the partner of Chris Bay, and they're part of the tag, and we'll find out what happens with them later. And Alan Angels, who they're really behind now as well. They're really pushing this guy too. He's really a guy they're pushing, I noticed.
Yeah, I mean,
which is fine.
His career's trajectory is based off the Kenny Omega match still, I feel.
Yes.
It's not even that he's bad, but all of his hype is based around that one single event.
But I mean, he's not a bad wrestler. No, he's really decent.
Good. Yeah. Especially for an X Division guy, he's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
He's like your Kidman.
Yeah, your Billy Kidman. He's not at that level. You know, we'll throw him a championship.
He's not the main guy, but he's there.
He'll throw him a championship every now and then. There's a guy, watch a video maybe coming out later this week about all the WWE releases. You know who I think would fit right into this X Division role is Mustafa Ali.
Yeah. I don't have any conversation about that. He would.
Yeah. So we'll delve into that in our release video that we're going to put out a little later. Yeah, decent match. Alan Angels gets the win. The one thing I found awkward was Mike Bailey was hanging on the ropes for a good 10 minutes. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah, there was a few awkward spots here. I don't know. I thought generally the match was pretty good. A lot of the spots were nice. There was some good in-ring work. Samurai Del Sol did some nice work. He seems to be that guy that they just use in these group matches where they just need
he was in WWE as well as Kalisto.
Yeah. They just need an extra guy, so they're like, "Well,
hey Samurai, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Just be here in this match." The one thing I didn't like is the match was really short and it ended very abruptly. Like, I was not expecting it to end when it ended. I was like, "Wait, it's already over?"
Yeah, it was under 10 minutes.
But I mean, hey, it is what it is. I do think, it wasn't as big issue to me at first because it's the first match of the night. You're like, okay, well, let's see where we're gonna go from here. But when you realize that the rest of this entire show is just promos and recaps of last week, makes me
there were quite a few matches, but
but I feel like what they did here was they just recorded extra all at once.
Yeah, and then
they just had too much for one episode, so they're like, okay, we're gonna have to make 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's like because our friend Pinky was back in the front row.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? That's how it felt. Like, we just have too much for one episode because there was not enough here for a second episode. There was 40 minutes of recap.
Yeah, mind you, in the last episode they did that 25-minute women's intro.
Yeah, but that was like building something, right?
Yeah.
Well, I need a recap of the 20-minute.
You also had 15 minutes of the Feast or Fired, which we'll get into later as well.
Yeah, so
which was 20 minutes. But Alan Angels wins. He's facing Sabin next week. Sabin takes the L.
He called him out for next week.
Yeah, does Sabin take the L? He's got the record now.
I think this is a really awkward situation. Since this episode's probably going to be short, I'm as well talk about it.
Yeah,
I think this is going to be an awkward situation for them because Alan Angels challenged him immediately. Usually when these things happen, they drag it out for like a month. So
I thought this was going to be dragged out till Bound for Glory.
He's going to lose because there's no way Saban's losing yet. And then there's immediately going to be another Ultimate X match, which I think was the plan. I think they're just trying to get people on the hype train by having more Ultimate X matches.
Okay.
Like, because like otherwise, what else did you do this for? Maybe Alan Angels wins again to prove his worth and then gets a match at a pay-per-view.
Maybe. Who knows? But unless they just do a rematch and have him face him again at Bound for Glory.
I mean, it's possible. But, and then they could have an Ultimate X at Bound for Glory.
Yeah. To face the winner of that match. So I could see that happening. Next we go into a gimmick match that they did on the first episode of back when it was TNA wrestling, was called the Foxbox rules match, which was Jake something against Dirty Dango. Basically there's a judge outside of the ring in the backstage area. And if the match goes more than 10 minutes, he has to give the decision on who the winner is. But
which means it usually means that it's going to go till the end.
Which it didn't. This did not. Surprise, surprise. But I mean, I kind of like Jake something. He's a little older, but he's a good mid-card guy that they can throw in there to have a good time filler match.
Yeah, I agree. And so is Dirty Dango.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing Dirty. This match was pointless, but it was fun.
Yeah, that's the one issue I have. When you have two mid-carders that both have no real position and they're facing each other, even if the match is good, it feels like there's no reason for me to watch this match, which AEW does that a lot.
This would be like Grayson Waller facing like, I don't know, who else is another mid-carder that has no direction? Grayson Waller versus like a Santos Escobar.
This is lower than that. This is like Chad Gable versus friggin' Shelton Benjamin or something.
Okay.
Two guys that even though they're talented, they have nowhere to go. Because like Grayson Waller
and now Shelton Benjamin has somewhere to go.
But I mean, but Escobar and
at
what's
least
his name?
Escobar has they have
somewhere to go. Grayson Waller has somewhere to go too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's plans for them. So Jake something wins with it lasted like not even 5 minutes. So like it was done over and quick.
I think they're really trying to put him over.
Yeah, they are, especially after that match he had against Sonata, which was a really good match.
Yeah, it was a lot of Sonata.
Yeah. So with that, we are going to the next match of the night. Like they've been banging out these matches one after the other. Except what's his name? Santino they had that backstage where Rhino gored Macklin. They're going to set up a Rhino versus Macklin match. And Santino called him Bob Macklin.
Yeah, and he called him Reno.
Reno, yeah.
Listen here, Reno.
Yeah. But with that, we're going into Kenny King versus Eric Young. See, this is a group of 3 matches that was 10 minutes total, but it wasn't really 3 matches. It was really 1 match. He just kept adding more people to it.
Also, like, it sucked. I
didn't like this match at all.
It's just like, I don't care for this story that they're trying to tell. I don't get it. And if they're going to use this whole Team Canada thing, do it in a feud way, not in this awkward, like,
hurry up.
Yeah, hurry up situation.
I think this was just for Scott D'Amore for a way to get himself on the card,
which is fine because I don't think he's a bad wrestler. I don't think any of the wrestlers here were necessarily bad except Kenny King,
Diener maybe, and Khan.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were there. Shit. Anyways, but listen, that's not the point.
Yeah,
it just you went back to back sweet nothings on me.
So basically what happened was Eric Young faced Kenny King. He got attacked by Sheldon Jean almost immediately. Disqualification. Shark Boy comes out, says the match ain't going to end like this. Restart the match. It's going to be a tag team match, and it's Eric Young and Scott D'Amore against Kenny King and Sheldon Jean. Then what's their name come out? The design come out, get disqualified again, and he says, well, now it's an 8-man tag match with America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris and James Storm against Diener, Khan, Kenny King, and Sheldon Jean.
Yeah, and I don't know who came first, so I won't speculate. But the design are basically just the Righteous with a worse intro song.
I think they were about the same time. I think the design were like offshoot.
Like I really hate this. I really, really hate this. But like I'm so obsessed with the theme song for the Righteous that like I'm starting to like them.
It's a really good theme song.
I'm like absolutely obsessed.
And now they're number 1 contenders.
I know that's definitely not a dream match. So let's take it easy here, Russell Dream.
Yeah, that they're
Eddie
number 1
Kingston
contenders
is nobody's dream match.
No,
but Shibata, okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, a lot of Shibata.
A lot of Sonata.
With Shibata on the side. But I mean, and we'll touch upon this later too, because maybe next the state, but I want to say it right now. Like, what's the point of putting the ROH trios on Kenny and
listen, I've already come to this conclusion. So guys, when you tune in tomorrow or the next day,
when we do it,
when we do it, I've hijacked his show and we're just making another state and a week later. Basically.
A lot has happened. It's kind of like a mini state because we're going to talk about the releases. Yeah,
it's a mini state because we might as well just talk about some news there. So if you want to see that, go look for that. It'll be out in a couple days.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. We'll definitely. Okay, so we'll talk about that then. Let's leave them hanging. A little nugget for them to chew on before they get the bone. So you got to come back. All right. But yeah, so this ended up being a tag match. James Storm, like, he's still good. Scott D'Amore was okay. I think this is more for Sheldon Jean to be in a match with all these kind of like legends.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not that the in-ring work was bad. It wasn't a really well played out match.
I don't like the way they set that up. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love Shark Boy. I think everything he's done in these 2 episodes has been hilarious.
Yeah. See, what I would have liked is do a minute or so, get disqualified, do a minute or so and get disqualified. And I get it. This is where you want to put your legends on the card too in America's Most Wanted, but set that match up for Bound for Glory. Or set up the match for Bound for Glory between Eric Young finally versus Diener, and that's it. Like, but I thought the feud ended in that hardcore match.
Yeah,
logic.
I thought Eddie Kingston feuds ended.
Clearly not.
Time ago.
Clearly
they don't
not.
end. They never end.
They never end. This is the feud that never ends.
We're gonna talk about that too. I have a rant.
Okay, so we're gonna do. Wait, look at that, guys. You're gonna get back-to-back states. So with that, we are going right into the results of our Feast or Fired match. So basically, Crazy Steve has case number 1, Moose has case number 2, Chris Bay has case number 3, and Yuya Uemura has case number 4. Yeah. So what we're
I think that we've never, before we even start this, I don't think I've ever been so disappointed in a booking decision as the 4 results that we got here.
Only one of them kind of makes sense.
Yes, and I still am not happy with it.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? There is one I do like, and it's number 1.
And yeah, that's true. Before we get into that, there was they showed a recap of the week before. Bully Ray puts on this huge babyface promo. Are they turning Bully?
I don't know. At this point, I don't know.
Or was he just there to be a legend and back to his normal self?
It would seem so that they're going to do this. But I don't understand the logic. I can almost guarantee there's going to be a transitional championship where the Dudleys are going to win and then pass it off to somebody.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if they need to be faces to do that.
Now these Feast or Fireds work like a Money in the Bank?
I don't know.
So, like, for example, Dudleys win, they get the tag belts, and right away Bay and Austin come out, cash it in, and pin them.
Possible. So that is how they work,
and that'll super huge put up because as we say, the results, Bay and Austin get the tag belt briefcase.
Okay, let's tell them about the briefcases.
Yes. So briefcase number 1 was opened up by Crazy Steve, and he has a digital media championship match,
which makes total sense.
Which is good. They're pushing
Tommy Dreamer won.
Yep. And
we're guaranteed that Crazy Steve is going to get it.
He's going to face Tommy Dreamer. Exactly. Then we have case number 2 being opened by Moose. And funny enough, too, they all said they want tag team championship matches.
Yeah, which I also thought that was odd.
Yeah. Their tag division is pretty good, but I don't know.
But we got some of the worst news of my life.
Yeah. Moose has a number 1 contender match for the World Championship again. I think they're building up more of a Moose versus Brian Myers feud.
I think they're just trying to find people that are legends to keep putting over Alex Shelley.
But he doesn't need it, as case by his promo.
He doesn't. But I think they want him to get as many big wins as he can before they take the title from him, because it's coming soon.
Because he's had a lot of defenses.
Yeah, he's gonna lose it soon.
Yeah. So with that, we already let you know that Bay got the tag championship briefcase. That means Yuya got fired. I said that too. I said that in last week's episode.
Yeah, we tried to come to the logical conclusion that it was going to be Moose, I think, hopefully, because we wanted that. But you made a really good point, and when it happened, I was like, fuck, I hate that he's right. Because he's going back to Japan.
Yeah.
This was the way to get him off. And they milked the Joya thing for a little bit just to get whatever they could out of it.
Yeah. I think, what if Yuya comes back, joins Shooter, and they form a tag for Best of Super Juniors?
I think you're going to get something
league
along that lines for sure. Maybe
because they'd fit well together.
Yeah. They could put him with anybody. I think this is New Japan knew it was his time to shine, and they called him back. They're like, it's time to come back. And they were like, because the Joya thing was like, let's get it out quick and see what we can do with it. Or it was, we're planning something. And then New Japan was like, he's hot right now. You're sending him back.
So you're sending him back. Yeah. His excursion is done because, I was looking up his contract status. He is contracted to New Japan and he's on excursion. So they can call him back whenever they want.
Yeah. And I think hey, I'm happy. I love to see him there getting some kind of real work done. And hopefully when they cross over, we get a little Joya thing again.
Reunion. Yeah. Get a little Joy and a Joya reunion.
I'll take it.
So with that, going into our next match of the night, anything else like you were saying about the tag and Bay?
I think that you're right. I understand he had to leave, but the right opportunity for me here was you fire Moose, you digital champion Steve, you give the title shot to Chris Bay. Or who was he? Chris Bay.
Chris Bay, because it would work well because they're already in a tag feud with
and it would be an excellent match, and it would put Chris Bay over, and Alex Shelley doesn't need to get put over anymore.
Yeah.
And then you give Joya the tag team shot.
Even if they lose, they can still send him back on excursion.
Yeah, I thought okay.
Yeah, but anyway, but ABC versus the Rascals will be good though if they do that match.
Of course, it's going to be good. But at this point, do you dethrone the Rascals already?
No, you can't. You can't. That's coming a little later. Yeah, I think that might be coming.
This is going to be a long feud, I think.
With that, we're going to the next match, which is Josh Alexander against Trey Miguel. Josh comes out, does a little bit of a promo, but all in all, this turned out to be a really good match.
It was a really good match. I will absolutely agree with that.
This was to see if Trey Miguel can hang with the heavyweights.
Which he can, obviously. It was a good match, but I didn't need it. I feel like this didn't do anything for Josh Alexander.
No, it didn't. Did a lot for Trey Miguel, though.
Oh, for sure.
And I think this is just like I think putting Josh in this match was like, thank you for all your years of service. You get a spot on the 1,000th episode.
Yeah, I think, like, genuinely, when you watch this second episode, the briefcase opening, the results of the Ultimate X match, because the match we didn't even really. It was okay. It was very short. And this match. And then I guess all the names in the women's match is what this whole show was about, because the rest of it is just like whatever.
It was all right. It was a good match. It was fun for what it was. We also get that little promo with Alex and Shelley coming out.
Oh yeah, Shelley
comes out and basically they challenge for a match at Bound for Glory, and we're getting a title match for Josh and Shelley at Bound for Glory. Is that where Shelley loses?
No,
neither that
Shelley wins, then Shelley beats Moose, and then I think maybe you get one more defense where he's faces somebody outside of Impact, like in Japan, and then he's gonna lose it to Josh.
Kind of like at a Wrestle Kingdom type event,
or like maybe early or whatever is coming up. I don't know. But then he'll lose to Josh Alexander.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. So with that, we get another quick little promo. Then we go right into the women's main event. Like I said, he must be listening to me to book this main event.
He is. You're the main booker now.
Yeah. So then why is he not listening to me on the Yuya?
They call you Booker T,
right? Booker JD. We got our main event: Awesome Kong, Gail Kim, Mickey James, Jordan Grace, Trinity against Tasha Steelz, Angelina Love, Giselle Shaw, Deonna Purrazzo, and Savannah Evans. This was not bad a match either. This was a good match too, especially considering now I know why they added Tasha Steelz. Velvet Sky can't wrestle anymore. She has back issues, so she cannot wrestle anymore.
So that's what that was about?
Yeah. That's why Velvet Sky was just at the ringside, like as the valet.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because who was on that team?
Tasha Steeles, Angelina Love, Giselle Shaw, Deonna Purrazzo, and Savannah Evans. And this was it was a good putover match for Giselle Shaw. She even in taking I don't think
that makes sense because Angelina Love popped up on Ring of Honor as well.
Yes.
It's because she can still go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Giselle Shaw takes the pin in this match, but everybody looked good. Like Gail Kim
we know why we know what Giselle is there for that.
Yeah.
This is like her thing. Gail Kim looks amazing, like physically looks amazing, and also wrestles great in the ring. Especially for not having wrestled for 4 years. And she's got to be like in her mid to late 40s at this point.
Somewhere there, yeah. Has to be.
But yeah, she did a few really nice moves. There was the only there's too many people in this, so obviously there was going to be little botches. The big noticeable one for me was
Awesome Kong.
I was gonna say
Savannah.
Mia Yim. I was gonna say Mia Yim. Gail Kim went up and to do like a crossbody, and Deonna Purrazzo for some reason walked away and then realized, oh shit, I'm supposed to be there, and tried to make it back and got hit in the knees. But they did a really good job
covering it
the
up.
Camera to like split, but you could see that that's what happened. But Deonna Purrazzo totally goofed that up. She just started walking away,
which is not like her.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, there's so many moving parts in this match that I think people just forgot like little things. Like there was a few like Irish whips that people weren't, like,
didn't go anywhere.
For,
But to be fair, though, especially when you have that many people in the ring, the fact that they were still able to do what they do and not really botched, there was some sense of fluidity to it. It still worked well. So obviously the baby faces go over. Awesome Kong gets the pin on Giselle Shaw.
Awesome Kong looked. I think she might have been the one that we thought maybe she's going to be
the weakest link, but she wasn't.
But she wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, because they knew how to use her properly in this match. She's there for the power spots. I like that little spot with her and Vidal Sassoon, whatever her name is, Jay Vidal.
Mickie James was a little sloppy.
Yeah.
Tasha Steeles was probably the worst person in the match, if I had to pick, right? I don't think anybody was like...
No, they all performed well, like,
bad.
But, I mean, other than that, that's it, guys. That was Impact 1000, the second night. Not as eventful as the first night. Not as fun as the first night, I guess. It was more of just matches, get some legends out there and recap the first night.
Impact 1002. Not 1002, Impact 1002.
Yeah, nights 2.
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. What would you score this one?
A 7.
Yeah?
Yeah, like the other one it was in my soul. It was a 10, and I gave it an 8. This was I enjoyed it, but, whatever.
Like I said, I enjoyed this as well. Not as much as I did the first one, but I did score it quite a bit higher than you.
If you were watching this live,
you would have had a great time.
Like there, yes.
Yeah.
But if you were watching this on TV, airing live with commercials, I think you would probably give it a lot lower than a 7. I'm talking to people out there, not you.
Because I gave it a 7.4.
Yeah, because it was really draggy. I could imagine how slow it would have been with commercials. Like it probably would have been really slow.
Yeah. But I mean, guys, that's it. If you watched Impact 1000 and 1000 Part 2, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know on the route that you think Impact has taken this year and how they've improved from last year, if you have any comments on that. So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. Join us later this week. We have a couple special episodes. We have our review. The PWI Top 10 was released. We have our thoughts about that, and we are not happy about it. Dave Meltzer, what the hell are you thinking? Tune in for that one. And we're going to do kind of like a little mini state coming up this week as well. We're going to talk about the WWE releases that happened last week and a couple other things that were going on in AEW. So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. And in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.